The ocean. Billions of cubic kilometers of water fill the earth. Its immense size never ceases to amaze us. Life is constantly evolving beneath the surface. A deep and diverse world full of the weird and wonderful. Large marine creatures roam these pelagic waters. Prehistoric animals that attract attention from those on land. But hiding in the shadows of these mighty mammals are other kinds of creatures. Rare and strange, brightly colored, but also masters of disguise. Delicate, but potentially poisonous, hunters and hunted. Together they feed, mimic, take refuge, and coexist in a multitude of ecosystems, more diverse than those on land. These strange species hide deep underwater, a mystery even to scientists. Incredible beings coexisting in the harsh conditions of the marine environment, in a constant struggle for survival. Together, this community of weird ocean creatures transforms the underwater world into an extraordinary place. Seas and oceans make up more than 70% of the Earth's surface. An extreme and hostile place for all its inhabitants. The different creatures that can be found on the seabed are innumerable. Each one of them possesses capacities and characteristics that make them unique. We present life forms that seem unreal, implausible. Creatures that, thanks to their colors and textures, can disappear in the landscape or look like aliens. With another size, they would be terrifying. All of them adapt to different environments. On the sand, on the rock, among the coral, or in the green meadows. The different marine species will be part of this episode that shows this strange submerged universe. An enormous expanse of sand. A landscape of apparent calm that hides surprising activity. A small branch becomes an oasis in the middle of this desert. On it, an orangutan crab moves carefully. They are very delicate animals, with a shell only a couple of centimeters thick. They move slowly and are quite fragile. They need to rest frequently. The orangutan crab moves away in search of another place, Perhaps it's thought of venturing out to look for more food. It seems to have had second thoughts. They're animals that need to rest often, and it decides to return to the shelter provided by its old branch. Some animals have developed very curious methods of adapting to this terrain. The coconut octopus has managed to identify elements in the landscape that serve as protection. It takes shells with it, which it wants to use to bury itself and hide. It moves fast by using its tentacles like legs. But it also uses these elements to build its den, and even uses them as shields against possible enemies. Nearby, a seahorse moves extremely slowly. These animals travel short distances due to their lack of caudal and dorsal fins. They lack a stomach and therefore suck in small animals on which they constantly feed. They have equine-shaped bodies covered by spiny plates from head to tail. The tail is curled and prehensile, so they can cling to or move among marine flora. In these immense expanses formed by the remains of shells, corals, rocks, and different minerals, there are species that feed by filtering the sand to find small mollusks and nutrients that settle there, thanks to the underwater currents. Blue-spotted stingrays are adept at stirring up sand with the front of their head, as their mouth is located on the underside of their body. In this way, they manage to dig up their prey and eat them. The coconut octopus has managed to use shells to bury itself in the sand. That's how it tries to go unnoticed by potential predators. This is another example of the intelligence of these animals. At dusk, a murex snail is finishing laying its eggs. It has a strong shell that protects it, with elongated spikes that make these mollusks so beautiful. The coral reef is home to a large number of animal and plant species. This diversity is greater than in any other habitat on the planet due to its excellent conditions of light, temperature, and salinity. A distinction is made between hard corals, which are formed based on calcium carbonate, and the so-called soft corals, which resemble small gelatinous trees. The latter feed at night by means of spicules of different colors that filter the water by swelling to trap plankton. This is why they proliferate in areas with currents. As beautiful as they are fragile, corals are home to permanently resident creatures that would otherwise be at the mercy of predators. For a species such as cuttlefish, these coral formations provide shelter, food, and even a good place to lay their eggs. They can see the reef more widely thanks to their W-shaped eyes, which can move individually and have an angle of vision that is twice that of humans. Thanks to their ability to change the color of their skin, they mimic their surroundings and thus confuse predators. They achieve this by means of cells called chromatophores that expand and contract to create those patterns so characteristic of the cephalopod family. The reef octopus is a good example of this. With its boneless body, it adapts to the shapes that come its way with hypnotic movements. To hunt, they wrap them in their mantle, which they change to black and white, and crush them with their beaks. Like cuttlefish, they feed on mollusks, crustaceans, and small fish. Octopuses are highly intelligent animals and can find a way to squeeze into any nook and cranny, no matter how tiny. They can adapt the color and shape of their skin by filling it with protrusions so that they are invisible in these reefs. Evolution has made it possible for this frogfish to blend in with the landscape almost undetectably. It is only revealed by being swept by the current and moving rather clumsily among the corals. It can remain still for a long time, waiting for its prey. It is lethal, catching small fish as it rapidly sucks in water through its mouth. When the ocean turns dark, some species that go unnoticed during the day must try to hide by any means when night falls. This Kalapa crab, anxious to find the best spot, frightens other creatures that have already hidden. However, its purpose is twofold: to hide, but also to surprise its prey. With its wide front legs, it pushes aside a large amount of sand so that it can get into the hole it is digging. It will only leave its eyes visible in order to maintain peripheral vision. But if there are any kings in the art of burrowing, it is undoubtedly the bobbit worms. A quiet and apparently calm area can hide one of the most lethal hunters of the night. At first glance, it may look like a harmless, battered plant, but it's one of the most terrifying creatures of the night. These worms, which can reach up to 3 meters in length, wait patiently for their prey to come close enough. Peeking out their 5 sensory antennae and 2 pincer-like jaws, they prepare to hunt. Nudibranchs, crabs, and even small squid are unaware of how close they are to exhaling their last breath. Others are less fortunate. A frenzied spectacle breaks through the blackness of night. An incessant coming and going of tiny larvae and crustacean invades the space. They come out to feed and become easy prey for the most voracious predators. Corals open their polyps to catch the food that the night provides. For one of the coral reef's nocturnal species, darkness is the perfect ally for their intimate time. Mandarin fish emerge from their diurnal hiding places in search of a mate. Usually measuring between 5 and 8 centimeters in length, the males are larger with a more elongated and showier dorsal fin and appear to emerge earlier than their female counterparts. These fish lack scales, but are protected by a mucous membrane that coats their body and that tastes and smells bad, and thus protects them from potential predators. This allows them to focus on what is important without worrying about being easy prey. The art of courtship in these fish is simple. The males roam the corals, showing off, and it's the females who decide whether to let them approach. Usually, one male is surrounded by several females, although in the same area, it's possible for 2 or more males to live together. Only a small school of cardinal fish invades the space. These fish are feeding on small larvae, oblivious to what is going on around them. These scenes may be interrupted by sporadic visitors. This decorator crab has become an unwelcome guest, but it doesn't affect the chores of these fiery fish very much. One of the most hostile environments in the underwater world is the rocky reef. The virulence of the waters in these areas is a survival challenge for all inhabitants. Due to the currents passing between the rocks, vegetation is sparser, and many species can only drift. The Cape Verde nibble is an endemic species. It's unique in the world and bears the name of these islands of volcanic origin. It's gray, almost black in color. Its sobriety is only broken by a white transverse line. It's a benthic species that moves in small schools near the rocks in search of food. The group moves uniformly, but with a certain degree of free will that allows individuals to change position without breaking the cohesion of the group, and thus maintain the protection it provides them. The strength of the sea in this archipelago contrasts with the gentleness of some of the individuals who inhabit it. Hidden among the formations, the spider crabs find their refuge. In this case, close to a long-spined sea urchin, which, thanks to its long barbs, helps them to take shelter. This species of crustacean has a striking elongated face, with a nasal appendage that it uses as a harpoon to catch its prey. Its very long, slender legs and mouthparts that act as jaws give it its arachnid appearance. There is a great variety of sea urchin species on the seabed, depending on the sea they inhabit and the area where they are found. All of them have common morphological characteristics. One of them is an unbreakable defense, their barbs. Living together with a large group of sea urchins protects and hides these boxer shrimp. they can only be glimpsed because of their long antennae, which they carefully clean using their small pincers. Although these cleaner shrimps feed on the parasites of other fish and small larvae, and despite their apparent fragility, these crustaceans are very territorial and may even attack other shrimp or small fish. Rocky bottoms can also be as colorful and delicate as the coral environments of tropical seas. Hundreds of caves and nooks and crannies are found in all of them where marine species try to camouflage themselves. In the case of this leopard moray eel, its hiding place allows it to shelter and relax while letting a Bruhn's cleaner shrimp feed on the parasites it finds on its skin. These shrimp are almost transparent and live in the holes of the reef, waiting for fish that need cleaning and even allow them to enter their mouths. This is why these moray eels often establish their shelters close to the shrimp. Nature is an inexhaustible source of extraordinary creatures. From its burrow, a mantis shrimp observes its surroundings. The most surprising thing about these shrimp are their impressive eyes. They move independently and have 3 pupils in each. It's a nervous animal, which is why it can sometimes be somewhat comical. Their 12-centimeter length concentrates an uncommon power. It has 2 front limbs that are kept bent and are lethal. The hairy frogfish is covered with fine hair-like branches, a quality that helps its prey to mistake them for plants. Another characteristic of these fish is that they can ambush their prey through the art of deception. They are extremely patient and have a small lure on the top of their head that resembles a worm. They move it steadily until the small fish approaches, while they remain motionless. The fish doesn't know what awaits it until it's too late. Once engulfed by the rapid absorption of water, they trap it in its stomach and close its esophagus so that it can't get out. They can feed on larger prey because their mouths can grow up to 12 times their size. Their compact body shape and the way they move attract a lot of attention. Their slow, clumsy movements, which don't allow them to swim, contrast with the extreme speed with which they feed. At a glance, you might think that a coral fragment is moving through the gentle flow of water. Impossibly shaped protrusions, spines, and fins give some species perfect camouflage and a special beauty. In the case of the harlequin ghost pipefish, it's the best way for them to protect themselves. This extravagant animal is found floating around the crinoids and soft corals with which it is perfectly camouflaged. Its spikes and body shape are designed for this. But their extremely thin beaks make it difficult for them to find the right food. Tiny crustaceans, plankton, or some shrimp larvae are the prey it absorbs by staying upside down to facilitate its attack. When colors are mentioned in marine species, they're often accompanied by other qualities, such as the venom these animals possess. These colors serve to warn potential predators. Nudibranchs are considered the slugs of the sea. Their different shapes and sizes make them the protagonists of the most beautiful pictures. This starry nudibranch gets its name from the protuberances that invade its body, as its resemblance to the dish huevos estrellados, or starry eggs, very well known in Spain, is remarkable. They feed on small invertebrates and the eggs of other nudibranchs. The lives of these animals are extremely calm. Their slow and almost imperceptible movements make them look like ornaments on the reef. Large expanses of seaweed make their way along the seabed. The spiny seahorse hardly stands out among the green seagrass. They're very delicate animals. The exhaustion caused by long journeys means that many of them die due to the effort involved. In the shallow waters of the Indian Ocean, scenes of territorial struggle and shows of strength begin to unfold. Two crabs confront each other, raising their long, robust claws in threat. Not far away, the remains of another crab lie among the vegetation. A decomposing shell serves as food for others. The crabs feed on invertebrates, algae, and dead fish. Face to face, they continue to measure their size and move in a circular dance. Other competitors have appeared who also want a share of the booty and have no choice but to share. When the feast is over, the diners retire. These crabs maintain their defiance for a long period of time. They open their sturdy claws in an attempt to intimidate their opponent into backing down. Eventually, the loser will have to find another place to settle. The reef hides dangerous creatures that camouflage themselves perfectly in this environment. This rockfish can remain motionless for hours, waiting for a fish that passes close enough to pounce on it. Its large protractile mouth unfolds in milliseconds to engulf its prey. Nothing suggests that it hides a powerful venom that it injects with the 13 spines of its dorsal fin. Most use this potent gift to protect themselves from hunters to survive. Much smaller, but with a more potent venom, the flamboyant cuttlefish of the cephalopod family fights against the current by walking along the seabed. Diurnal in its habits, its colorful display is strikingly beautiful, and thus warns of its venomous nature, unique among cuttlefish. The blue-ringed octopus is another of the poisonous cephalopod species. Like the cuttlefish, it investigates the terrain in search of food. It doesn't look scary. It even seems harmless. But despite its false fragility, it is best not to be misled by appearances. Despite its small size, it's one of the most venomous and lethal animals in the world. It's easy to recognize in the mud because of its striking colors and the distinctive electric blue rings that give it its name. While the octopus moves fast, the cuttlefish continues its journey more slowly. The 8 arms with 4 rows of suction cups hide 2 deep blue-white tentacles that are used for hunting. With incredible speed, it attacks crustaceans and small fish that don't stand a chance. Blue-ringed octopuses are solitary and become very territorial. And although they become more active at night, they feed all day long on crustaceans which they paralyze with their venom by breaking their shells with their powerful beak. Countless species possess impressive characteristics that help them to survive. There are marine animals with toxins so potent that they could kill a man with a single dose. This small specimen could be one of them. Most of them use this gift to protect themselves from hunters in order to survive. These cephalopods warn of their danger with their bright colors. Despite popular belief, this animal doesn't carry its venom in glands or covering its body, but must bite its victim in order to deliver its potent toxin. Sea snakes are one of those animals that top the list of the most venomous. They're descended from the cobra and are excellent swimmers. Their tails are flattened laterally at the back, which helps them move through the water, making it easier for them to move. They're great predators and find their prey in the hollows of reefs. Aided by their musculature to inject the toxin, they bite small fish with their 2 fangs and wait for them to succumb to the venom before swallowing them whole. Despite their length of up to 2 meters and their powerful venom, they are very peaceful animals and only attack if threatened. human disruption of coastal areas has developed exponentially. Environmental awareness is increasingly present in society. Ships sailing today have more resources than in the past. Many of them didn't go beyond certain sea routes, and the remains of numerous shipwrecks can be found in the depths of the sea. Most of them, over the years, become home to numerous marine species. Near the reef, the wreck of a ship rests. An agitated shoal of striped eel catfish scours the sand in search of algae, crustaceans, and mollusks that remain hidden in it. The speed with which they are moving means that they are gradually moving away from the safety of the boat. It's a group of fries that, despite appearing harmless and defenseless, carry a very powerful poison in their whiskers. Care must be taken with these shoals, which can become very numerous. Other animals blend in so well that they appear to be part of the metal jumble or live hanging from abandoned lines and nets. Something as simple as a tangle of ropes can become an unexpected hiding place for a giant frogfish. They can go so unnoticed that even a pair of castanets have decided to place their nest close by. These compact-bodied, slow-moving, and clumsy fish are one of the fastest and most patient hunters on the reef. Man-made structures or objects, even if they're not submerged, can become a life-giving environment. A large school of hardhead silversides has taken possession of this incredible breakwater. The columns prove to be the ideal refuge for many species and a place to find sufficient food. Lionfish, moray eels, and jellyfish congregate here. A blue-spotted cornetfish escapes in fear, also haunting the columns full of encrustations that have formed over time. It's characterized by its extremely elongated shape and a caudal fin that ends in a long filament. The life that forms on these artificial reefs helps the proliferation of species and the conservation of marine space. Creatures such as this sea-spinning top enjoy the shelter provided by these structures. In addition to surviving in such a hostile environment, the animals also have to cope with the negative actions of humans. The coral reef best represents the danger to these valuable ecosystems. Global warming and uncontrolled dumping, together with changes in water conditions such as salinity and acidity, are killing the corals, and the reef is turning white. The landscape is bleak. These environments are slowly dying, and their inhabitants are trying to cope by adapting their food and behavior. As the reef disappears, so do many of the creatures that inhabit the subsoil, and with them comes a shortage of food for animals like the spotted eagle ray. It flies over the coral, dodging the schools of yellow snapper in its path. Although it's a fast animal, it moves calmly. Not only is it a matter of preserving all these species, but it is essential for the continuity of the planet as we know it. Caring for the different ecosystems that the series covers becomes vitally important when we learn about all the life they harbor. Discovering these mysterious creatures gives us a better understanding of the importance of the underwater world on our planet. In the next episode, we will visit the underwater deserts. In them, despite the apparent calm and lack of activity, we will discover a place full of mystery, action, and life.